Hey Primers, I'm so excited to bring you this new video today. We have Ross Smith from the Ross Smith Center of Balance Horseshoeing. We're so amazing. If you live in Western Canada, you know the name Ross Smith. It is extremely hard to get into him. He is like the Pete Ramey of Western Canada. So was super excited when I reached out to Ross. I have been stalking his page for a while now. We had Ross in the barn a couple of years ago, I believe now, and when he was first coming out with his CoBit tool, the Center of
Balance indicating tool.
Indicating tool. I just call it the CoBit.
Yeah, CoBit.
So I was really excited. So he had this tool, but it wasn't yet out like in production.
Yeah.
So it was this tool, and he was here for another horse, and I kind of stuck my horse in there and said, I'm just learning how to trim, can you kind of try it on my mare? And we did that. So when I saw that you've gone into production with the CoBit, that any horse owner, any trimmer can have this tool, I reached out to Ross and I was like, can we do a collaboration? Can you come and show our viewers how to use the CoBit? Because this is a tool for the average horse owner.
Yes.
And so we're going to take you through, and we're going to go step by step through everything. So come along with this journey and watch our video.
Okay.
Awesome.
So can you give me some history on your horse, age, what your horse does?
Yes. So Ticket is a coming 10-year-old quarter pony.
Okay.
She is trained in mounted shooting, also kids horse stuff, but I mostly use her for mounted shooting as of late. Yeah.
So she is a speed event horse.
She's trying, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Does she have any lameness problems that I should be aware of?
She has bulge disc at L5S1.
Okay.
So she has some back end issues, and then she does she trips a little bit, and she also has the start of some side bone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We will, when we get into checking the balance of her feet and stuff, it actually looks like you've done quite a nice job of trimming your horse, just from what I can see from here. But the CoBit will tell us the truth as to just how close it is or what we need to do to make adjustments. Some of the long-term benefits of the CoBit and getting your breakover where it should be is a lot of back issues will improve. Your traveling problems that you may have, tripping, stumbling, shortness of stride, a lot of that kind of stuff. One thing I want to make perfectly clear is I'm not, the use of the CoBit in my method doesn't mean that it will cure everything. This is the one and only way to do things. It helps all kinds of problems. It starts at the foundation and goes up and helps your whole horse's body balance once your horse's feet are balanced.
So you can grab your stuff, and for our followers, this is super exciting for me to do because, as you know, I've been trimming my own horses for about the last 5 years now, so definitely consider myself a junior or rookie in this. So I'm really excited. I didn't do anything different with my trim for Ross to come here today, so we're just going to slap it on her foot and see how I'm doing. I learn best by mistakes. I have definitely made mistakes as I have learned how to trim my own horses. So we're going to
Just turn sideways for the camera there, girl. So with her foot right underneath her, right here is the farthest back weight-bearing surface of the horse's foot, and that's the buttress of the heel. So we're going to draw a straight line up from the buttress of the heel. And it's actually quite good on this horse. A lot of times what you'll find is this is way up here. And that happens when the horse's toe and the breakover gets too long. And so these joints have to flex. The fetlock falls down, this bone moves back to compensate for the breakover being too far forward. So if you're trimming your horse at home before you start, just take a measurement like this here, and you may find that your hoof rest is way up here. Just keep a mental image of that in your mind. After you trim your horse, you will find that this moves back. I call it putting the horse's foot underneath their leg or just moving their foot back. This is the slot at the toe. This is the slot that determines where the center of balance is. And this is the slot for the CoBit on. You always have the screw to the outside. You don't want it on the inside because if the horse starts thrashing his leg around, the screw could hit his other leg and cause some damage. Also make sure that you don't, when you put the CoBit on, don't do it like this. If they were to pull their foot away, the screw here could damage your leg. So generally speaking, this buttress of the heel should line up somewhere in this crack, just as a starting point. So we know, you can see that line will come across about here. So it's a bit of a guess to start with. So you just tighten it up and we'll see where she balances and we'll find out if it has to be moved one way or the other. So have that pretty snug so it stays on. And then have them stand with your leg pretty well straight underneath them. Not, see there she has it quite a ways back, yeah. So it's going to tip forward. So just get her and horses will do this. She's never had it on before. It's a horse's natural instinct not to stand on something that's on their foot. So there. So if I can push with my knee to help a little bit. But see, I'll get my other foot out of the way. See how it isn't touching at the front?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of movement, it actually rocks. So it's actually balanced, and that's your center of balance. Then you'll draw a line on the back side of this slot. That's where the heels need to be. And then here at the back side of the front slot is where breakover needs to be. So what we're going to do now is I'll show you how I do my trim. And then we'll put the CoBit back on and see if my trim lines up with the marks.
Perfect.
The rule of thumb on your frog is, so how much you can trim, how much you can't. So see the angle of my hoof knife? I can go the same angle on the other side and not have a problem.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this horse is quite upright.
Yeah.
A flatter footed horse is a little bit flat. Run your ass across here, flatten each heel out till you're just touching the frog. Then you'll go on a 45-degree angle. And the line that we can see from the CoBit is back to here.
Oh, that's scary.
So, correctly trimmed foot, the horse carries the majority of its weight from here back. So, this is the line that the CoBit has told us that we can trim to. So we're going to do that right now. And you know, you will look through here to see if one heel is longer than the other. You want to match this surface up with the plane of the sole. So this indicates where the coffin bone is. The plane of your hoof should match. And Adele's made my job quite easy because this is one of the easier fixes I've come across in quite a while. So because I've got lots of hoof wall to carry weight here, I can take this right back at the toe and not cause any problems. So see how I'm on an angle? Right back to the line where the CoBit showed me, and I just go from about here to here, just a bit of a curve.
Okay. Yep.
Not completely square, just a bit of a curve. And then I just, the sole and stuff there, just leave it alone. It'll wear. So then, one of the benefits to...
She's looking and chewing.
there, she's even without me pushing on her knee, she's
Yeah.
balancing.
Okay, so a lot of our viewers, some of them are horse trimmers themselves, but a lot of people, maybe they shoe their horses, their performance horses, or things like that. Is the CoBit a tool that the average horse owner can use to maybe check, does their horse need a reset, or things like that, or how can the average horse owner use it themselves?
So it is an indication of if your horse needs a reset. So a lot of times the horse's foot doesn't appear to have grown a lot. It seems all neat and tidy. If you were to put the CoBit on and find out that the horse's toe is, you know, a quarter inch, half an inch ahead of breakover, if you're riding a performance horse and it's moved ahead a quarter of an inch or more, it's time for a reset. So that you could use it just to find out when you need to call your farrier.
So even if it was maybe you are on an 8-week cycle to see if you need to be on a 6-week or
Yeah.
4-week, it's a tool that you could use.
And some horses grow faster than others, so you could use that to regulate. And you can use it on a horse that's wearing shoes. You can put it on and do the same thing. Yeah.
Awesome. So for that reason alone, guys, this is a tool that should be in everybody's trailer. Absolutely. So even our performance horses, in addition to the trimmers that we have as our viewers. So we also have a lot of followers who do their own trimming. Yeah. And when I started to learn how to trim myself about 5 years ago, I wish I had a tool like this because I did a lot of trial and error, a lot of not knowing. But for an owner who is interested in doing maybe a little bit of in-between rasping or things like that, tell us how user-friendly or how much this can help them if they are just starting out their trimming journey.
So the final product that I have for sale now is, there's about 6 or 7 prototypes ahead of that. And what I did is kept coming up with one that was easier to ise. And so this one has the slots in it where you actually just put your pencil and draw a line. And I've had lots of just horse owners, when I go to do their horse, I have them put it on. And that was part of the research as to how easy it was to use. And so what I've come up with is one that's extremely easy to use. If you can handle some nippers and tools at all, and you can pick your horse's feet up, even if you don't trim your horse's foot, just to, like we said, to find out if you need a reset or not. After you've used it on a handful of horses, you will find it extremely easy to use. And it was actually designed for someone like Adele that was just learning to trim, because there's so much guesswork in horseshoeing as to where we should or shouldn't be. And one of the big things about the CoBit is to take the guesswork out. And I've had farriers with 20, 30 years of experience say to me, finally, we have something that takes the guesswork out.
What would you tell a horse owner who wants to buy a CoBit, they have a trimmer, how should they incorporate using the CoBit into conversation with maybe a trimmer or farrier who hasn't been exposed to it yet?
Well, I think you would probably, you'd have to approach that cautiously, but you could tell your farrier or trimmer that, you know, this is a new product that's out there, you did some research on it, and rather than shove it down their throat right away, if you've had one of your own and you've learned to use it, you could kind of show them where it is, and then let them go to our website and see how it's actually used. So someone that is a pretty competent farrier would, looking at the videos on the website, you would get quite a bit out of it. And then when you hear some testimonials of people that have had it done on their horse, you may have a little better time of getting your horseshoer to try it. And then if you buy one yourself for your own use, and you just let your farrier use it on your horses, then he doesn't have to go out and make that investment to buy something that he doesn't know for sure if it's going to work. But when he uses it on your horse and sees the difference, then he'll probably either steal yours or buy one of his own and use it on everyone else's horse.
Right. So we now have a CoBit in the barn at Prime Equine, and we are going to do all of the testing with you guys. We have Russ's amazing instructions. You guys have seen our video that we did together with the tutorials, but Alyssa and I now are going to play around with it. We're going to throw it on the horses, around the barn. I am going to use it in my day-to-day trimming, absolutely. So we're really excited to learn about this. I obviously think with the information that you guys saw today on this video, the questions that we asked with Ross, that every single horse owner should have a CoBit in their barn. So where can somebody go to learn a little bit more if they're still hesitant, or order a CoBit for themselves?
You can go to rossmith.ca. We have a website, and you can order right through the website with credit card, and we will ship it to you.
All right, everyone, so you have heard it here. You can head to www.rossmith.ca to pick up a CoBit for your barn and your horses. Let us know what you think of this video.